Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dirt Road Salvation, except this time we're live. How's everybody been? You guys staying warm? All the audio okay? Everything good? If y'all having trouble hearing me or anything looks funky, drop a comment below and let me know. Anyway, so as we all know, we've been watching this weather storm that's been going through, and it has made a complete nightmare of pretty much everything east of 35 and the Midwest and all of that. It has been a total nightmare. So luckily enough, we planned ahead. We're stopped. We're sitting here at the good old Travel Centers of America, and boy, it's been an interesting day, I tell you what. I went to bed last night. Everything was clear, just a little bit of rain. Woke up today. There's snow on everything. Snow has been absolutely just coming down, just crazy. So it's been an interesting day. We've already had wreckers out here and people trying to pull themselves out of the spots. It's been a total nightmare. So if you're parked somewhere, it's a good day or night now to just be sitting there drinking some hot chocolate and relaxing. So you guys, everybody hearing me okay? But anyway, looks like New Hampshire Lone Wolf Trucking. Hello there, if you're paying attention. How you doing? And Lynn Curry. I think I remember who that is. Yeah, I know you. That's who you are. Anyway, so yeah, it's been just a total nightmare. Oh, to continue there from 3 a.m. to 6 p.m. Hasn't stopped there yet. Good God, buddy. I wonder if you're getting pounded as bad as I am down up here. I'm up here by Chicago right now, and by God, they said 9 to 14 inches of snow, and good Lord, it's been a nightmare. So, well, hey, that's good. Snow's not bad where you are. Good deal. Hopefully, it stays that way. It's not too fun up here. But yeah, even the plow drivers that's been coming around, they've had these big bobcats out here plowing the parking lot and everything, and they really ain't done much of anything. They've pretty well just made it worse. And now it's just all packed down. It's a solid sheet of ice. So, yep, snowing where you're at there too, Lynn Curry. All right, good deal. Oh, how much snow are they getting for you over there? New Hampshire Lone Wolf, 1 to 2 foot here when it's all said and done. Boy, I hope you got parked before the snow started falling, so that way you don't have a whole bunch of that crap underneath your tires when you go to take off. Yeah, well, TA and Pilot have a tendency to they kind of take care of their lots the same they are in, but yeah, it was ridiculous. Earlier, I went up and I walked up to the truck stop there to go get some dinner to get me some of that good old taco hell, being the only thing that's within walking distance. It's not totally, snowed in. And I got out of the truck and I had I swear I had a 3-foot pile of snow on both sides of my truck where the doors were, and every bit right in front of the nose of the truck. It was just absolutely ridiculous. They totally buried me, and I ended up going up there and I got a snow shovel, and I spent about a good half hour today shoveling all that crap out to get my truck out of the way. Well, yeah, if you're idling, I mean, as long as you're there long enough to melt everything down, that's good. As for me, I got lucky. I just got an APU on my truck and a bunk heater, so there ain't much idling for me. So that's why it was important for me to be parked before all the stuff started coming down, so that way when it was time to leave, I'd have all the concrete underneath my dadgum tires to be able to roll with. So, but yeah, they've just kind of really just been totally getting smoked up here. It's almost, well, I wouldn't say it's as bad as Texas last year because, well, they lost all their power and everything, and Their stuff was just, oh God, I got stuck for a week down there in the winter crap last year in Texas. And I tell you what, I learned a lot about the winter time and last year dealing with all that craziness. Yeah, we got snowed in for a solid week down there at the Loves on 35, right there between, I think it was Tyler, right between Austin and San Antonio, I think it was, whatever that place is between there. So, difference, let's see, New Hampshire Lone Wolf, the difference between being a company driver here at USA and leasing with ProLease like you did. Are you asking what's the difference? Or are you talking about, like, how I got my truck? Because that can go either way. That's a pretty open-ended question there, buddy. But I know last I heard on the company side, they were working on bringing all their trucks back in and adjusting their idle times and temperatures and stuff. I don't know whether that's true or not. Oh, where did I get? Okay. Oh, yeah, me having an APU. Yeah, the company trucks now, I don't think they're putting APUs on them at USA. Me having a X-Fleet truck, I've got an APU on mine. And RN, I got my truck from ProLease. When I went through the process of getting on here, I got my truck through them. The guy to talk to is Charlie Wall, I believe is his last name. He's the guy I got my truck from. And ProLease, it used to be B&G, and from what I understand as to how that was explained to me is like how the independent contractors and the company drivers and USA itself are all different separate business entities. ProLease is a if I'm using the correct terminology here, it is a subsidiary or sister company to USA. And if I understand correctly, USA sells their fleet trucks to ProLease or what used to be B&G, and then ProLease leases those trucks out to us. And they do the deposit, the credit check. Well, it's not like a hard credit check, but they go through, you got your typical stuff, same with like SFI and TEL and places like that, but they're able to work with you a little bit more. And they're used trucks, and so that way the payment's going to be cheaper, and your maintenance costs will be just a tad bit higher in the long run because you're going to have some bugs and stuff. But hey, there you go. New Hampshire Lone Wolf says you can find them on Facebook now under ProLease, and it gives Charlie's email address to contact. See, hey, there you go. There's something I didn't even know. Usually just me and Charlie work directly. I shoot him off emails and do everything that I need to do that way. But he's a super cool dude. Anything I've ever had issue-wise come up has always been resolved and taken care of. And as far as a business partner, I can't speak higher of him. I mean, he's a fantastic character. I'm totally happy with this truck, and I plan on keeping it, and I don't plan on going anywhere for a while. So, yeah, RN, it's a lease program, but it's not like your traditional leases, like where you are going to be like how Prime has their setup, or like how I think Pam Cartage Carriers or US Express or Western Express. It's not anything like those. It's going to be where the truck and you and the truck are independent of the company. The company doesn't have their hands in your truck. So, like with this being how I have it set up, USA can't tell me to stay here with it or anything like that. If need be, I can take it where else if I need to. I mean, as long as I cover the costs and things of that nature to transfer. What costs are you asking specifically? Are you talking the fixed cost of the truck there are in, or are you talking like pay stubs and stuff, or leaves and earning statements, or whatever they call them these days? Because I've got a video that I did a little while back that had the breakdown of the fixed costs in them. Okay, the truck. Yeah, the truck. Okay, so my truck payment. Let me pull it up here real quick, guys. And I'll come back to you here in a second. There, New Hampshire Lone Wolf. Let's see. Pull up my statement here. I didn't realize we were going to get pulled into this tonight, so I apologize for being ill-prepared, guys. I just need 1 second here. So this way I'm giving you the actual numbers. Let's see. The tractor payment is, at least for my truck, is $550 a week, and the maintenance is $200 a week. So it's a solid, easy $750 a week for the truck and the maintenance costs every week. So, you should add. Oh, yeah. I guess I should, once I put this on the replay, I guess I should change the title of it, since we're talking about leasing and B&G and pro lease and stuff like that. So, okay. So New Hampshire Lone Wolf, from what I've heard, you said the best two options are at USA or pro lease and SFI. I don't know a whole lot about SFI. I didn't go that route. I didn't want to wait 9 months for a truck. So I ended up going with pro lease, and so far I've had really good luck with them. Curious length of the lease and the lump amount at the end. I can touch base on that. I know the length of the lease is, I'll pull up my email here that I got that had that in it. Let's see. I believe it's a 3-year lease on a 4-year-old tractor. I believe. I will definitely shoot me an email. There, RN, I've got my email on the Facebook or my YouTube page. Shoot me an email there, RN, and I will I don't want to put out misinformation, tell you the wrong thing. I'll reach out to Charlie and make sure that it is exactly what I'm saying, because I don't want to give you guys bad information. So, yeah, I can at least verify. Like when I got my truck, when I showed up in Waxahachie to pick up my truck from Pro Lease, as they were putting the truck in to park it, they ended up, the guy who was moving it busted something on the downpipe on the truck that takes the coolant back to the radiator. And they had already fixed it and everything. They were fixing it and everything by the time I got there. And anything that might get mixed when the techs go over the truck, when you take possession of it, there's a warranty period on it. When I first did mine, it was 30 days. I don't know if that's changed or not. But anything that went wrong after taking possession of the truck in the first 30 days was completely taken care of on the note of Pro Lease. So after that though, everything was on me. There are minor hiccups in the program, but like I said, it's a ball game, and if you play it, you're good to go, and there's not really too many hiccups. That ain't too bad. Let's see. You were told oh yeah, I mean, RN Charlie can be kind of hard to get a hold of sometimes. And the best advice I can give you is give him shoot him an email. And I think New Hampshire Lone Wolf said you can find it on Perlease's Facebook page, or and leave him a voicemail. He's super slammed. They got a whole bunch of people trying to come here and do this right now. But anything I've ever needed, I've always been able to get taken care of with him. He's been a really, really solid help to me in getting everything up and running. So, but anyway, so are you, RN, are you already in a truck? Are you in a company truck trying to go somewhere and do something, or what are you trying to do there, buddy? Is there anything else specific that you have questions you want to have answered that I might be able to help you with? So, man, but Yeah, overall, I can't say it's too terribly bad. Yeah, I've had a really good time here. As far as just, things that have went wrong, it's just been a little nuanced stuff. Nothing incredibly terrible. So, okay. So you're trying to get a truck to lease on to USA or JB Hunt. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, everything I've heard, everyone's always said that, SFI is super packed and that they're having troubles getting trucks in. Last I heard, they shut their list down. I don't know if that's still the case or not, but Kansas City, Missouri, I can always get a load out of Kansas City. One of the biggest places I pull out of is out of Spring Hill, Kansas, right there, just around the corner from the Missouri side of Kansas City. So, and they vary. They're usually really heavy. I think it's cat litter most of the time, and they go to various places. They go out to Pennsylvania. They go to North Carolina, Florida, things of that nature. If you live in that area, dude, that's a great place. We always got freight coming out of the Kansas City area. So, oh, you're on Tell's waiting list. Okay. Yeah, I remember. I think you left a comment the other day when you were talking about it on one of my videos the other week. So, yeah, I know a couple people that's over at Tell, and they say they really like it. The big thing that they're running into that I've seen is their Freightliners, the new model Freightliners anyway. They're having a lot of idling issues since they don't have APUs on their trucks at Tell. I know a couple guys that's had some pretty big issues. Freight to Kansas City. Off top of my head, usually if I'm going back that way, I'm pulling. I run that corridor a lot on the I-70 side. So most of the loads that I've pulled personally that go to Kansas City, Missouri, have come out of like the Ohio area. A couple out of, I think, North Carolina, and I've pulled relatively consistently. I've found loads going there out of Pennsylvania. So I don't normally go much further north than Pennsylvania, but yeah, I mean, if you could almost build an entire lane that runs just based around the I-70 corridor from Kansas City running out to the East Coast and back. So at least here anyway, we've got a lot of freight that comes out of there and goes there. That's usually one of my go-tos. If I can't find anything else, I usually always try to find something going to Kansas City because I can find something that goes really well out of there. Wait, they got the new orders all the way paused there at SFI until 2023? Holy cow. That's a lot. Man, they must really be hurting for trucks. I mean, I know we got a chip shortage and people aren't building trucks and stuff, but goodness, it's nuts. So, man, I don't know. I heard some stuff the other day. Louisiana freight's a little weird, though, at least here anyway. The freight out of Louisiana, there's not usually a whole lot to choose from, but yeah. I mean, what you do find is usually okay, but I don't usually end up in Louisiana that often. But yeah, most definitely the truck shortages, my goodness. I mean, heck, a Freightliner, the 2015 Cascadia, I think when I was looking about 3 years ago, they were going for like $30,000, and now they're posting them for like $50,000-$60,000 for a used Cascadia with like 500,000-600,000 miles on them. It's crazy. Definitely not a time to be buying a used truck right now. I mean, for those prices, you could almost, I don't know, it's kind of scary to think about personally. So one of the reasons I went this route was try to avoid having to deal with all that and get totally screwed. So yeah, so basically they've shut down. So if I understand what you're saying there, Lone Wolf, they've pretty well shut down everything, and they're just struggling to fill their orders from everybody they got in there. That's crazy. I know last when I talked to the people I got mine from, what? Hold on, Lone, did you say new trucks are up around 248,000? Holy cow! That's what SFI is charging for a new truck, 248 grand. That's insane. How can they? That's just highway robbery. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. RN, desperate times do call for desperate measures, buddy. I mean, we all got families to feed. We got stuff, we got bills at the house. I mean, everybody's out here. We got to make a living. So, I mean, that's why I'm here. Outside of, the days in the Army, this is, other than turning wrenches, this is all I've known. So, and I gotta stay a lot cleaner doing this versus turning wrenches. And the old lady at the house is much happier now that she don't have a bathroom that's covered in. What? 18,000 for a truck down payment? Okay, where'd you pull that number from, Lone Wolf? That's absolutely ridiculous. 18 grand? I mean, I know a lot of places there's a lot of money down, at least 50. I've heard as much in some places as 50%. Good God. That's crazy. 18,000. That hurt a wallet to think about there, buddy. I tell you what, that's just nuts. So, RN. So, what are you looking for? There's like your differences between JB Hunt and sorry, I saw your comment there, and wow. So I was going to ask you, between JB Hunt and USA, which one are you leaning toward, or do you have any questions specifically about like operations and things of that nature? Well, I mean, Lone Mountain for their 389s there are in, yeah. I mean, that's a 389, 72. I mean, yeah, those are high money trucks, and those are going to hold their value. And those they always have a kind of a steep deposit on them. I mean, like 2 years ago, I think they were saying 14 grand through them down payment for a brand new truck, which honestly, at that point in time for the market, if you already had a truck and were running as an owner operator, I mean, yeah, that's kind of a big deposit, but I mean, if it's like 10 or 15%, I mean, that's kind of a good deal if you're looking at the long run. If your truck's 150,000 and you're putting 14,000 down, I mean, that's around 10%, but God. But so yeah, Lone Wolf, you're in yours for 6,500, huh? That ain't. What are they going to run you for your note on that each week, if you don't mind me asking, there over at SFI? Or have you done the math on that one yet? Because that was that was one of the big determining factors for me, was the truck note and what I felt safe operating as and what I thought I'd be able to cover each week, which is why I went with, one of the big factors I went with Pro Lease, as well as the timing and not wanting to wait for 9 to 6 months for a truck. Was the fact that my truck note total was only going to be $750. $1,183 including maintenance. That's a little high, but I've heard worse. I mean, is that a week or is that a month? I'm imagining that's a week if it's through SFI. But there's a lot of guys here that have those trucks and they seem to do well. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing that it's all going to depend on how you run. I mean, there's people here that put me to shame and work way harder than I do. I mean, I work as hard as I have to make sure that the bills are paid. So, outside of that, I spend as much time as I can at the house. But that's just me. I don't want to live my whole life out here. Weekly, huh? God. So have you figured out how many weeks you're going to have to run each week to get that covered there, Lone Wolf, or in a row before you can take time at the house? Or have you actually sat down and worked your budget on that one yet? Because, like, for me, how I've got mine set up, I think my total operational cost including all my bills and budget and everything at the house, is only like, I think I'm like right around 93 cents a mile for my total cost per mile to run everything with fuel and maintenance costs and everything all put together, including the weekly, including all the bills at the house each month. But I've got a really low cost of living where I live, and most of my stuff's paid for. Okay, so you're at JB Hunt now. Okay, buddy. I got you. I mean, I don't know anything about JB Hunt. I mean, I only know about as far as USA here and how our load board runs. And it's being... Well, okay, if you're worried about rates there, RN, I mean, I can't speak about JB Hunt. You know, we get ours is 65% of the gross revenue. And then if you have some safety features on your truck, I think you can get up to about 67%, depending on what you have on your truck, or if you want them to put a camera in or whatever. Anyway, the camera is a whole different story. I mean, that's your own personal preference there. But, I mean, some weeks are better than others. This week's going to suck because I'm stuck snowed in somewhere, and I'm not going anywhere till the roads clear up. So I'm going to eat it this week. But, I mean, I've had some really good weeks. So, I mean, we can talk offline if you're worried about like rates and stuff. I'm not trying to recruit you. I don't mean anything like that. I just don't want you to make a decision with bad information is all. That's my big thing. So, if you want more information, we can, talk numbers offline. I'm not real big on putting my personal information and stuff out online and things of that nature as far as how much I make and what have you. But, okay, so Lone Wolf, you only have to... Okay, 2 weeks in a row, and you're going to pay extra each week. Okay. Okay, so you're having them take extra. I've heard of people doing that. You're going to have them take extra out each paycheck there, Lone Wolf, to cover your home time, so that way your note's covered then. Okay. That's at least smart. So... Okay, so... And you'll have it paid off 2.5 to 3 years? Man, that's pretty ambitious, but if it works for you, I'll give you a good POB there, buddy. Or pat on the back, sorry. So how long have you been a company driver? You got some time under your belt, or are you just relatively new, or are you just trying to look for information there, buddy? So, because I've seen a lot of guys that come like right in out of the gate out of trucking school, and they go right into a lease, and they have some issues. But now, not everybody has the issues. I mean, some of them have, depending on their background, they do relatively well. But you 5 months. All right. Well, my personal advice, buddy, is there's absolutely nothing wrong. I don't know what your background is. If you've got a background in this industry and running lanes, and you've been in your blood all the way back to your great-great-grandpappy, and you've got people to fall back on, you may do okay. You might make it. I know personally, as far as what I did, I ran a company truck for a good solid 2 years before I ever even contemplated getting into a lease truck or doing the whole owner-op thing. There's a whole list of stuff to get into and know, but everybody's different. I mean, it depends on how hungry you are and how hard you work. I mean, there's a lot of variables into it. I'm not going to tell you not to chase your dream or not to do what you want to do, but I don't want to see good people end up going down a path and getting themselves in a little bit of ruin from just having a little bit of inexperience or anything like that. I'm saying nothing against you, but okay. So you got trucking in the family and a business and tax background. Okay, well, I mean, you'll be better off than most anyway. At least you'll have experience to fall back on. So. Figure out a budget so you know what you need to make. Yeah, absolutely. That goes back to the last video I made there, Lone Wolf, about knowing your costs. I mean, you got to know your numbers and how much you got to make in order to break even. You know, if you need to make X amount of dollars every week, you got to make sure you hit them numbers every week. And if you don't, you got to have enough in the bank to cover them down times. So, but absolutely. But see, that's one thing that'll be nice for you, having a tax background. I have to hire out my accounting services because I am not a tax guru whatsoever. Boy, if I didn't hire somebody to take care of all that, Uncle Sam would chew me a new one, I tell you what. But yeah, you know enough not to cost one that's going to cost you $250,000. Boy, ain't that the truth. Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. I don't care how good that truck is. I don't care if it's got the condo extendo sleeper and stripper poles and a whole bunch of craziness in the back. It ain't worth $250,000. It's absolutely nuts. Let's see. Yeah, they're going to put themselves in the best light and try to yeah, you're right there, buddy. Yeah, we've all had those experiences where, well, my recruiter said this, and yeah, that recruiter lied to you, buddy. They're definitely going to be. It definitely helps to have word of mouth and at least know that where you're going, you got resources of people to fall back onto. $184, huh? That ain't too terribly bad. I mean, that's about what they were going for average. I mean, for the last handful of years. To believe that they've doubled in price or value is absolutely ridiculous. What's going to be really interesting is I'm wanting to see what's going to end up happening to these fuel prices, because if these keep going and people don't slow down, these fuel prices are going to put a lot of people out of business. Like in Pennsylvania last trip through, I think the highest I saw, I believe, was $4.50 a gallon, close to. I mean, that's an astronomical amount of money for a fill-up. I mean, if you got 100 tanks in there and you're doing a solid 200 gallons, that's $900 a fill-up, guys. That's nuts. Like, I don't know how something's going to have to happen. Otherwise, either people are going to have to get more fuel-efficient trucks or slow back down, or we'll have to run like Prime does at 57 miles an hour down the highway just to be able to mitigate the fuel costs. I mean, you can only shop for cheap fuel so much until the prices are everywhere are high. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, 184,000, that was about average for what they were going to be last year. And when I started shopping, it was about 2019 when I first started really seriously looking at it. And they were going to brand new about 175, 160, 180,000 then. And now they're upwards of, I guess you're saying, as high as 250,000, which is absolutely astronomical. And I'm for sure that's not even including the interest on it. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be your biggest cost there, RN, is going to be figuring out how to shop for fuel and buy fuel and stuff, man, and all that. I mean, mitigating your fuel cost is just ridiculous. I mean, compared to my truck, compared to what Lone Wolf's truck's going to get, though, I mean, his being a brand new truck, he's going to have all that state of the art stuff, and he's going to have he's going to get better fuel economy, hands down. But, in order for me to match what he's going to get, I'm going to have to slow down. I mean, I've already slowed down to where I'm running about between 62 and 65 anyway, depending on how heavy I am. I'm not out here running 70, 75 down like you can down in Texas anymore, because it costs too much in the fuel. It's that ridiculous. So, yeah, that's where every MPG saves 12 to 15K. Yeah, absolutely, buddy. You're absolutely right. That's preaching to the choir right there. Every bit. I know, like, I try to stretch mine as much as I can, but, if I'm running super heavy, like I have been this last week, running this last lane between coming out of Pennsylvania and back and forth between Indiana all week, it was, the lows were paying really, really good, and they were pretty well consistent, but, they're super heavy. There's lots of hills. Running at 65, I was maybe hitting 6.5 to 7 miles to the gallon, whereas if I'm, when you get these trucks from Pro Lease, I think they're set governed at what USA had when they were in the fleet had them governed, but there's nothing in the contract that I read that says about what speed you have to have your truck governed at. So that would be something to follow up with Charlie about if you have those questions. I don't know if there's an actual speed that they have to be governed at, but I've got mine governed at 72. So, and I think Kenworth I might be wrong. I think last I heard, PACCAR only recommends these trucks for 76 max, but if you're running that, I don't know who's running that daggum fast in one of these. Just like I said, it all goes back to the price of fuel. So, I don't know if we have any freight going in and out of. Yeah, 72 ain't bad. That's cooking pretty good. You can get a lot done at 72, but like I said, I'm not running that fast right now. I'm usually running 64, 65 right now just to try to offset some of that fuel cost. Well, if it goes by the manufacturer's recommendation, I'm sure that also has to do with where you get your truck from too, though. So, I don't know. I know, like, USA's contract, and somewhere in there in their operating contracts is to anything over, if you're in a 65 or 70 mile an hour zone and you get over 75, you can get in some trouble for that. But like I said, I don't speed anyway, so I don't have those problems. That I don't know right off the top of my head there, buddy, what it's geared at. It's just going to be like your standard spec old fleet truck, man. It's spec more toward gears and things like that. So, I'm sorry, not gears. It's spec mostly for fuel economy and things of that nature as far as the gears are concerned. I've got the paperwork for the truck in here somewhere and amongst all my filings and stuff. So, I'll have to get that back to you on that one, buddy. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I know I've got a 450 X15 Cummins underneath the hood, and it's the 2013 model Cummins engine, and it's got the Eaton automated 10-speed transmission in it. So, ooh, anything good there in Remington there, buddy? That's up around, I think that's around the Lafayette area, ain't it? Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Gear will definitely tell you what speed to run. But, it depends on what part of the country you're running in as to where you want your gears too. So, like I said, this is my actual first truck I've been buying. I had a lease truck with another carrier prior to this one. It was good to learn, but that was it. So, but this is totally different than that. So yeah, this is there were some mistakes that I made when buying this first truck, but it's not anything that would have put me under or been detrimental or really anything. As far as mechanical and everything went, I knew what to look for there. They're just like little bitty nuanced things that I probably should have paid better attention to, as far as like, gearing, drivetrain, what horsepower the motors are at, whether I want to bump up the horsepower or not, or leave it where it is. There were some things that, as I've had it and I've learned, and things that I realize I've made mistakes about in the past when doing this, but it's all about learning. It's the first truck. I figured I was going to take a couple lumps on this eventually, but so far I can't say anything bad. It's been a really good truck. Anything that's broke down or left me on the side of the road just been stuff of age and just routine maintenance. So, but I do. Yeah, I've got a Cummins. I've had PACCAR motors before, and I can't say anything bad about PACCAR other than they're made kind of cheaply, and the technology in the PACCAR trucks are proprietary. So if you don't have the PACCAR equipment, you're not going to be able to talk to the PACCAR motors or pull codes or be able to get into the computer system or the brains of the truck. Whereas like a Cummins is, how do I say this and not get in trouble? Cummins is a little loose. Anybody can get into Cummins and talk to them and, pull codes off of them. I mean, I've got a scan tool in the back there that I use to be able to diagnose when trouble codes come up or figure out if they're even anything legit. Whereas if it was a PACCAR, I'd have to buy the PACCAR software and things of that nature. So I'm a big fan of Cummins. My favorite motor ain't around anymore. I like the old C15 Cats, but we used to have a lot of cat motors in our old military trucks, the bigger ones anyway. And but those aren't around anymore, so it was a Cummins. And with the new issues that the Detroits were having, I wasn't a fan of trying to get put in one of them new Freightliners. Just the same as me and Freightliner don't get along. We've got a real nasty relationship, and it's pretty bitter. It's like a toxic ex-wife. Not good. And but irregardless of what motor you have, it don't matter what it is, it's going to cost you money. And irregardlessly, if you can't get parts for it, you can't keep moving. And that's another thing you want to think about too, like just your like routine maintenance parts, like water pumps, oil, fuel filters, oil filters, things of that nature, buddy. A lot of that stuff's getting really hard to get by. Last time I was getting an airbag done at a Love's, they had a couple of guys come in looking for PMs, and they didn't have the oil for it. And what oil they did have, they didn't have the T6 Shell Rotella. All they had was the 1540 Mobile Delvac, which is old dinosaur oil. And but they didn't have any of the filters to be able to change out the oil filters or the fuel filters, so they weren't able to do the PM. So when you go to figure out what kind of truck you want, buddy, make sure you can get parts for it. That's very important. And if you do have stuff that's back ordered or that's going to take time to back order, try to at least get it in advance. So that way, when that does go bad, you're not sitting there waiting the 9 months or 3 months or however long it's going to take to get it off a back order. So what kind of truck are you getting, Lone Wolf? Are you getting, which one of the big ones are you going to do? Or did you already tell everybody? I might have missed it. Yeah, I'd have to say so far, I've had Freightliners, I've had Peterbilts, I've had Cummins with inside this truck being a Kenworth, and I've had Internationals. Well, I can't blame you on the PACCAR engine. But yeah, okay, so you're getting a Volvo VNL 860. Okay. Are you going to get the tank motor in that from Volvo, or are you actually going to get the Cummins motor in them? And let's see, you wanted a VNL 860. Yeah, man, I hear a lot of good, Lone Wolf's getting him one, but it seems like everybody's after him, but the Internationals, though, that are bad were the ones with the Max Force in them, Max Force engine. I've had a couple Internationals that's had Cummins motors in them, and they've done really, really well. So, okay, you're going to get yours in the middle of March then, all right. And you're saying SFI, okay, they only do Volvo engines. Okay, they won't let you get the Cummins option then. D13, okay. I don't know much about those D13 engines. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things about them. I don't know. It's not something I'm really familiar with overall. I know, they're just like anything mechanical. If you maintain them or take care of them, you shouldn't have too many issues other than just routine maintenance. But, I don't know who other than Volmac or Volvo who would be able to get into them and talk to them if you have an actual electrical issue. And I've heard there's some stuff with those Volvos where they have on air, over the air updates and stuff. And if you don't have those on, or it can be a mess. I mean, I don't know. I've never had one or been in one. I've only pretty much had North American PACCAR trucks. You know, Lone Wolf, I can agree with you on the interior of the International. It's kind of like a cardboard box, and it rides like a roller skate, but you know, it's a tool, not a luxury item. So I guess that's where like the difference in mentality comes from. Interior's never really been a big thing that would make or break my decision on a truck. It was always about mechanical functionality and things. Comfort was always second for me. I'd rather have an uncomfortable truck that'll keep me moving and not break down on me versus one that's super comfy, but I'm always in the hotel or, you know, in the shop for it. Oh, bro, New Mexico, did it break down on you in the summer or did it break down on you in the wintertime? Because, oh, man, New Mexico gets hot, dude. That's crazy. I would not want to break down in New Mexico in the summer. I've seen them in the wintertime, too, though. They get snow out there also. So, yeah, definitely keep me updated when you get those, dude, because I'd be interested to hear about what your experience is with those Volvos. From what the people who like them, man, they love them. They preach about them. But the people who hate them, man, they're always talking about that maintenance cost and tow truck getting a hook and how much that costs, and the fact that the dealership network to get repairs done for warranty work is negligible at best. Okay, so springtime ain't too terrible. I mean, at least it wasn't the summer, buddy. Spring's not bad. So. Man, these long-winded speeches make me thirsty. Good Lord. My parents must have been right when they told me my whole life growing up I was full of hot air. Look at us. Oh, fall? It was in the fall? Okay. Fall's even better. Not too... At least you can roll the windows down and stay cool for the most part. I had a coolant line bust on me in Wyoming this summer. When everything on the West Coast was burning, I was on my way out to Oregon, and I had a coolant line bust on me. And I didn't have any hose on the truck to be able to... Sorry, someone was backing in next to me. I get super nervous when people back in next to me. Sorry about that. But yeah, the coolant line busted on me when I was on my way out in Wyoming, on my way to Oregon, and I just lost all my coolant all over the road. And couldn't run the APU or nothing, and me and old Tankin were in the truck, and we were sitting there on the side of the road with every single window down and trying to keep it as dark as possible in the middle of the heat. And I think it was like 105 degrees that day. And yeah, it took like 2-3 hours to get somebody out there to replace that coolant line, or at least bring me the hose. So, not fun. It sucks being broke down when it's hot. My only saving grace is we had like 30 mile an hour winds, so luckily enough, it was nice and windy to keep me at least somewhat cool. So, and then I had a thermostat clog up on me in Texas one time, and that one sucked. That was a hot breakdown. It's always in the summer for me. It's either the summer or the winter where I'm snowed in, or I'm broke, or something breaks in the summer when it's like 120 degrees outside, or random hay bales jump out in front of me because, you know, it's like Mario Kart. Sorry, dog's back there making noise and getting crazy. So, but anyway, I think we're getting pretty close to the end here. I think my computer's about to die. Is there any last questions that anybody has before I end up cutting this off here, guys? Or do you guys need me to drop my email down here in case you guys want to reach out to me or anything if you have any more personal questions you want to talk about offline? Oh, dude, don't even talk to me. No, Lone Wolf, you stop that. We're not talking about what happened at the Clown Motel. No, I got rid of that truck. It's somebody else's problem. No, absolutely not. You just stop right now, guy. No. Okay, so what took me to USA over Schneider? Honestly, it's it's not the owner operator application for Schneider to get everything started with SFI, and I got everything done with SFI, no problem. And there's just, like I said, there's just an astronomical wait. And I was originally gonna go with SFI anyway because I liked what I was hearing about the trucks and they had one I wanted. And so, literally, the reason I chose USA over Schneider was for the simple fact of when I didn't finish the application. When I went to go back into it again, the freaking application crashed and it wouldn't let me in, and I couldn't recover my application, and I didn't want to start hand jamming all of my information back all over again. That's literally the reason I chose USA over Schneider. It was literally a toss of the coin between the two. They both had similar ideas, and I landed here at USA, and it's been a really good fit for me. So, but it could have been good over there too. I don't know. It was literally a technical issue that ended me up over here at USA. So, but yeah, about the whole clown motel there in Tonopah, Nevada, dude. Yeah, that was some yeah. Talk about some crazy stuff. Yeah, that happened in the winter too. Freaking snowstorms and me always ending up in haunted places, dude. Not cool. But yeah, here, I'll drop my email down here in the comments, guys, if you want to reach out to me offline, or if you think of any questions at all, whether it's trucking related or just advice in general or whatever. So if you need to reach me, you can reach me at that email there. And just let me know when to look for it. Or you can find me on Instagram also, and that'll come out. You can find me at Instagram at... Let's see, I gotta type this in here. So if you don't want to have me to have your personal email, you can reach out to me at Dirt Road Salvation on Instagram, and we can talk there. It don't have to be about USA, it can be just about trucking in general, or just, whatever. I'm always cool to talk with you guys. So thanks for joining me on this live video here, guys. First one we've done. You have a great night, guys. I love y'all. Keep the rubber side down, and be safe, y'all. Stay warm.